Seguin police want to find the crook who took off with some catalytic converters from cars parked near a college dorm. The latest still ahead.
And still a lot of questions unanswered after a driver ran over and killed a man on the west side. However, police may be closer to answering one question: who's responsible? Katrina Weber has the details for us this noon.
Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
And we begin with the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. New hopeful signs in the battle against Omicron, with cases going down in parts of the country.
Meantime, Pfizer now announcing the start of its trials for its Omicron-specific booster. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
Signs of hope across the country, with at least 31 states seeing new cases level off or decrease.
While this virus continues to surprise us in all sorts of ways, I do think that we're heading to a better place.
But the World Health Organization warning it is far too early to relax. 22 states reporting at least a 10% increase in hospital admissions.
Nobody is exaggerating this. These are the sickest patients that we've seen in our entire careers.
And now the WHO identifying an Omicron subvariant called BA2 spreading quickly in 40 countries. While it does appear to be easily transmissible, it does not appear to be deadlier than Omicron and is not a variant of concern right now.
Are any of these variants going to be worse? Are they going to be getting over the immune defenses better? We really don't know.
To help protect Americans, the White House sending out those 400 million free N95 masks, with pharmacies and community health centers set to receive them in the coming days. In New York, a showdown over masks, a state Supreme Court judge overturning Governor Kathy Hochul's mask mandate for public indoor spaces, calling it unconstitutional and unenforceable, the governor now filing an appeal. Pfizer trying to stay one step ahead of this evolving virus, announcing new trials for an Omicron-specific vaccine booster. Over 1,400 trial patients set to receive at least one dose, with first results expected in the spring.
Experts say a strain-specific booster may not be necessary for people who are already vaccinated and boosted. One of the categories being tested is a 3-shot course of the vaccine tailored for Omicron in patients with no vaccinations at all. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
New at noon, police in Seguin, just northeast of San Antonio, went to find a suspect tied to a theft. Officers think the person stole 3 catalytic converters, and while they don't know who the person is, they do think they know what vehicle the suspect was driving. Take a look at your screen. Officers think this is a suspect's vehicle. Police said the thefts happened at approximately 1 a.m. on Saturday at Texas Lutheran University dorm parking lot. According to officers, the suspect vehicle was caught on camera making numerous loops at a high rate of speed throughout the campus on the morning of the thefts. Police said in the recent months there has been an increase in the number of catalytic converter thefts. Anyone with information is asked to contact Seguin Police at 830-379-2123.
The medical examiner is still working to identify a man who was run over and killed in the middle of a street on the west side. San Antonio police found him overnight on Calabria Road, only a few blocks away from St. Mary's University. And as Katrina Weber tells us, although the question of who hit him initially was a mystery, police now say they have identified a driver.
Police cars shut down part of Calabria Road around a scene that would open up a lot of questions. Officers arriving around 12:30 this morning found a man down in the middle of the 2900 block of Calabria, dead from injuries related to being run over by a car. What they didn't have, at least not right away, was a lot of information regarding who hit him. Police at the scene described a gray pickup as being involved, with a second car also hitting him. They said the man, who appeared to be in his 20s, was either walking in the area or trying to cross the street when he was killed. There seems to be some conflicting information about what actually happened out here. At the scene, officers told us there were 2 cars involved and that both drivers took off. However, a report released later mentions only 1 car and says that driver did come back to the scene. SAPD's public information officers say the crash is still under investigation. They did not clear up any of our questions, including whether the driver who returned was arrested or faces charges. We also could not determine if police are still looking for a second driver. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Thank you, Katrina. And police are also investigating this incident. Officers say someone walked into a Southwest Side convenience store and robbed the place. We're told the man showed up at Kim's Express store in the 5400 block of West Military Drive. That's near Five Palms Drive back on January 13th. Police say he pulled out a gun and demanded cash before running away. If you can help officers find this person, call Crime Stoppers at 210-224-STOP.
And this was the scene on the city's west side early this morning. Police say a driver crashed into a pole as they tried to escape gunfire. It happened around 3 this morning at the intersection of Castroville Road and Southwest 21st Street, not far from Our Lady of the Lake University. According to police, a female driver and 2 passengers crashed their vehicle into a utility pole after being chased by a dark-colored sports car that was shooting at them. Police said the suspects left the scene. So far, officers have not arrested anyone.
And if you make it to the San Antonio Riverwalk this week, you might notice a big change. A lot of water missing. The river is getting drained for cleaning and some minor construction.
Max Massey now joins us live from the Riverwalk near the corner of Commerce and Alamo Street. So, Max, we know the river is low, but is there a, aroma from the river being drained?
Yes, guys, that is a good way to put it. There is an aroma. It kind of smells like a pond out here, but take a look. Alicia, you said it. You might notice a big change. I mean, take a look at that. A lot more mud. But then take a look at the side of the Riverwalk. You'll see it looks a little refurbished. Crews have been out and about early this morning doing some minor construction. We also saw city officials and volunteers walking through the river, picking up trash. And then here we go. We got a city worker right to our left, still doing work throughout the morning. And guys, I gotta say, what they're doing is really impressive. So in the past, the plan was to drain the river each and every year. But officials tell me because of the development upstream near that museum reach area, they only need to drain and clean this area every 2 years or so. The big question that so many people have was, what was found? So honestly, guys, nothing too exciting. We did get a look at the dumpsters filled with the items that they collected from the bottom of the river, filled with chairs, lights, even a stroller. We are told some of the popular items found at the bottom of the river, cell phones, laptops, and in previous years, a lot of scooters. Now, this is a process that takes about a week, but there is a strategical reason for why the drain happens right now in January.
Low attendance in tourism, so we don't see as many tourists. Plus, the environment allows us to be able to work. You know, when it's a little nippy and a little cold, it's a lot easier to get things done. If we were in the middle of August, that would not be good. It would be way too hot.
A part of the conditions that Neffy was talking about are in terms of not being able to work in the heat and what kind of David was alluding to, the odor that would be emanating from the river. It would be much worse in our San Antonio heat and humidity. So these cooler temperatures really make this process so much easier for our city workers. Now, guys, we're here obviously on the Riverwalk, but up on the street level, there is a crane being used to move the items that they find at the bottom of the river. So Alamo between Market and Commerce, that is closed. So if you are out and about, plan to drive around downtown, be cognizant of those road closures. Alicia, David, back to you guys.
We are seeing some clouds around today, also some sun as you get out west. It's going to have a huge bearing on the temperatures. We'll talk about that forecast and look ahead to the weekend, too, coming up.
The ducks looked a little confused down there, didn't they?
I know, waddling through that sludge.
Where'd my water go? Hey, if there's ever a time the Spurs needed a win, now is the time, and things are set up for it since they are taking on a team worse than they are. A preview against the Rockets coming up.
And the odds may be against you if you're winning the lottery, but some places around town may be luckier than others when it comes to shopping for a ticket. Details after the break. Feeling lucky? Well, right now on KSAT.com, several San Antonio area stores turned customers into instant millionaires last year by selling them winning Texas lottery tickets. I want one of those.
Yeah, we'd like to have one. Well, here's a look at which stores in this area sold some of the biggest prizes. It includes tickets worth $5,000 or more and scratch tickets worth $10,000 or more.
I would settle with like $5 or more.
Just to win $5 might cost you more for the scratch-off ticket.
You buy the $1 ones. Well, you can check out the data on KSAT.com and see which games might be the luckiest.
Also on KSAT.com, hog hunters in Hays and Caldwell counties could make some extra money come February. The Central Texas Feral Hog Task Force is offering hunters bounties for feral hogs next month. The cash comes from a grant program.
Hays County received a $7,500 grant and Caldwell County received a $20,000 grant. According to the Feral Hog Task Force, there will be a $5 per hog bounty that will be paid by check on tails or certified buying station receipts. The Hays County Commissioner says feral hogs create problems for both agriculture producers and, of course, residents.
Feral hogs are considered an invasive species. Yes, they are. Have you ever seen like a pack of those?
No, but I have heard how destructive they can be.
Ooh, yeah, they can tear something. They can tear a golf course up, not to mention just your backyard. Yeah,
What do they charge a human?
They might.
Yeah, you don't
That's what I'm scared of.
I don't want to mess with them.
No, thank you.
I've chased them with a golf club before.
I believe that, David. I believe you have.
We need video.
Yeah, video or it didn't happen.
Yeah.
The aquifer is down 0.3 of a foot, 662.5 in your pollen count. Everything's low again today, man. These numbers are fantastic. Mountain cedar's low, molds are low. And we've got the sun out right now. The big question is, how long will it stay out? We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
What are you giggling at?
Great conversation. Ducks looking for water at the river and chasing hogs with golf clubs. I mean, that's what we've been talking about. And people who know what hogs can do know what we're talking about.
And then the javelinas.
And javelinas.
We had a full conversation over the break about David chasing.
I did.
And how it wasn't. Was it effective? Well, you're here, so.
Yeah.
He's here to tell the story.
Ran away.
That's good. Well, David's been sitting close to me today. He's been hearing me complain about these clouds. Not really complaining. Look, I'm excited that we have sun out there, but the clouds are making the forecast very tricky today. I want to show you what we've got going on outside. You can see them there in the distance. And at the airport, we've got partly cloudy skies. So temperatures right now sitting at 55 degrees. Dew point is at 45. And north-northeasterly winds at about 10 miles per hour. That cloud deck, though, is basically hugging San Antonio here. You can see it's just on the edges of Bexar County, and it's sort of just set there most of the day. The problem with that is these clouds will have a huge bearing, as I said earlier, on temperatures and how they end up. So we're 55 right now here in San Antonio, but places like Hondo sitting at 66, Seguin is at 48. So it shows you the difference, what these clouds can make. It's 52 in Gonzales, 51, Austin, 50 right now in Kennedy. Out west where we've got full sun, close to 70 in Del Rio. So here's the forecast, and I think by 4 o'clock, San Antonio is probably going to stay on the edge of this cloud cover. We'll get up to about 60 or so. Out west, you will see some 70s on the map, and then to the east, most everyone's staying in the 50s, 55. The high in Gonzales today, 53 in New Braunfels. Now tonight, clouds shift in for everybody. We could start off with a little more fog tomorrow, maybe some mist and drizzle too, something to watch for tomorrow morning. Could be a little bit damp. We're down to 44, but then tomorrow everything shifts. So the clouds move west in this case. We'll have the cooler temperatures out west and maybe some slightly warmer numbers as you go east. So it's sort of a flip-flop here. Clouds are going to make that forecast a little difficult next couple days. Hey, as we look down the line, this is the forecast for January 31st through February 4th, where we're talking about temperatures. And I show this just to give you an idea as we head into February. The trend is for warmer temperatures to take over, warmer than average temperatures to take over here across Texas. So that's kind of what we have to look forward to as we head into February. If you're worried about any sort of big outbreak of cold air, it's not really there. We do have some very cold numbers up north. But that's going to basically stay to our north and east. We'll get some shots of cooler air, but not cold air. 45 right now in Lubbock. It's 42 in Amarillo, 50 Wichita Falls, 54 in Dallas, 51 right now in Waco. And as you look at the radar and satellite, not much there. Most of Texas is pretty quiet. We just have the clouds to contend with. But let's look at the forecast down the line. Here comes a piece of energy that will move into the Texas Panhandle tomorrow morning. That'll create some snow around Amarillo, maybe as far south as places like Midland. For us, we could see a couple of showers. We have a weak frontal boundary that's coming in, and that doesn't really do a whole lot for a forecast other than kind of move those clouds around a little bit. By tomorrow afternoon, some snow possible across parts of Oklahoma and Wichita Falls, but that system stays well to our north. As we get into Thursday, cloudy most of the day, and then by the evening hours, we could actually see a few showers starting to show up. Now, I would love to tell you that this is going to produce some good rain. It's not. It's going to be light stuff. It's not going to really help us with our drought situation. But by midnight, I do think we'll see quite a bit of shower activity around here, most of it light. And then by Friday morning, sunrise, a lot of this is pushing south. And then by Friday afternoon, we'll get some clearing. And then the weekend, boy, the weekend looks fantastic. 63 on Saturday, sunny and beautiful. 65 on Sunday, warmer and sunny. I know it's only Tuesday, but it's never too early to look at the weekend forecast, especially when it's that good. Just my opinion. All right, 54 coming up tomorrow, 55 on Thursday. Cloudy skies. There's that 30% chance of showers Thursday night into Friday. 54 on Friday, 63 Saturday, 65 Sunday, as we showed you. Sunny skies. We could get a freeze Saturday morning, so just a heads up there, a light freeze. And then maybe some rain chances coming back into play early next week, guys.
Man, that rain just teases.
That does. He got all fired up about the weekend, though, didn't he?
Two thumbs up.
Jumped right through the ceiling.
I'm kind of excited about it.
If only we could just skip ahead.
JP has had a couple of huge nights later, better known as Jakob Poeltl. The team needs another one tonight in Houston. Preview coming up. San Antonio Spurs in Houston. Tonight they will be taking on the Houston Rockets, one of the two teams with a worse Western Conference record than the Spurs. A few games back, the Spurs lost to the Rockets at the AT&T Center, 128-124. One of the 5 teams the Spurs lost to during that 7-game homestand. But now Houston has dropped to worst in the West, and this is a game time the Spurs have to win after they had a hard-fought battle ended in that loss Sunday to Philadelphia, 115-109. The bright spot in that one, Jakob Poeltl scored his 16th double-double with 25 points, 10 rebounds. That is now more than all of last season when he had 15.
Jakob Poeltl is one guy who brings it every minute that he's on the court. He's unbelievable, deserves a lot of credit for what he does out there.
All right, here's a look at the matchup. Tip-off tonight. Remember, it's the Rockets, so they tip off at 7 o'clock out there in Houston. So tune in early. We'll have highlights for you tonight on the Night Beat. Former Utah Jazz star John Stockton has been banned from all Gonzaga games after having his season tickets revoked for refusing to wear a mask at home games. Stockton played for Gonzaga. In fact, his number 12 jersey retired at the school. The Hall of Famer believes as many as 100 professional athletes have died after taking the COVID vaccine. Oh, the day is getting closer, and fight night is getting bigger. Mario El Azteca Barrios. That's because he's going to fight Keith One-Time Thurman. Where did he come up with these names? Barrios has been thinking about moving up in weight for years, and now's the time. This will be his first fight at 147 pounds and will be against the man who was once the welterweight champion. We caught up with Barrios this past Friday as he does his media rounds via Zoom. He's been training in California, but he switched things up recently by moving camp to Sin City, a place he fought back in 2015.
We just came out here last Sunday, so a couple days ago, just to get acclimated to the elevation, the environment, and there's Vegas is a huge boxing city. There's plenty of sparring out here. There's plenty of scenic runs, which is always one of my favorite things.
Now, both fighters are coming off their only career loss. Barrios lost by way of technical knockout last summer to Gervonta Davis in Atlanta. Thurman has not fought since the summer of 2019 when he lost by split decision to Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. But it's the way Barrios fought against Davis that has earned him another pay-per-view headliner against one of the best in recent boxing history. So what has been the toughest part of dealing with that first career loss last summer?
Everything that came with it. It wasn't something that I went out there expecting. It wasn't something that I was prepared for. It was the first time I had ever touched the canvas in my whole boxing career since I first got into the sport. I have a good team behind me, man. That helps me stay grounded. Big shout out to my family. My homies, my girl, just everybody who has been supporting me throughout my career, man. And of course, man, my hometown fans, everybody back in San Antonio, they definitely helped keep my spirits up through the loss. And so I mean it was hard at first, but I found that fire not even too long after the fight.
Maybe a little motivation for him because he's been in camp since October gearing up for this big fight in the welterweight division. It's been reported the pay-per-view cost is going to be $74.95 for that fight. So here's the info. It's a 12-rounder welterweight bout. It's Barrios and Thurman, Saturday, February 5th, Michelob Ultra Arena there in Las Vegas, Nevada. Wish him all the best. And, of course, we'll have more on that fight as it gets closer on KSAT 12 Sports.
Would you ever be a boxer?
Me?
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Not even for fun?
I got a glass jaw, more than likely.
Oh, I thought seriously.
I get knocked out real easy.
All right, well, no one's knocking out this grandma. A scammer tried to trick her into handing over cash, how she was able to flip the script and pull a fast one with the help of police officers.
And broken cell phones, laptops, printers, or even tablets. You probably have one of these hanging around in your house. Well, coming up today at 5, it's time to take out your old electronics. 12 on your side, Marilyn Moritz tells you how clearing your tech clutter could make you a little cash. That's today at 5 after Entertainment Tonight. We'll be back.
As Russia puts more pressure on Ukraine, the U.S. and its NATO allies are vowing to increase their military presence in the region. The Pentagon says 8,500 U.S. troops are now on heightened alert for possible deployment to Eastern Europe. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has the latest.
As tensions flare with Russia, the U.S. and its NATO allies are trying to present a united front, ramping up military assistance to Ukraine.
Even as we're looking to advance the diplomacy, advance the dialogue, we have to be, and we are prepared when it comes to defense and deterrence.
NATO countries deploying resources, including warships, fighter jets, and additional ground troops to the region. The Biden administration now placing 8,500 troops on heightened alert for rapid deployment, but those troops will not yet be deployed.
The United States has taken steps to heighten the readiness of its forces at home and abroad.
The Kremlin responding it has profound concerns over the move, insisting it has no plans to invade Ukraine. Yet, Russia has built up more than 100,000 troops on the Ukrainian border, with more military trains now arriving in neighboring Belarus, and Russian ships setting sail in the Baltic Sea. Overnight, in a nationwide address, Ukraine's president urged calm, while a top Ukrainian official is pushing back on claims that a Russian invasion is imminent. In a potential diplomatic off-ramp, France and Germany are set to hold talks tomorrow in Paris with Ukraine and Russia.
We're prepared to support dialogue and diplomacy that serves to de-escalate tensions.
Here in Washington today, officials from the Biden administration will give 2 classified briefings on the situation in Ukraine to House and Senate leadership and committee staff. Elizabeth Schulze, ABC News, Washington.
An appeals court has upheld the conviction of former Mexican drug cartel leader Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. He was convicted of multiple charges back in 2019, including of engaging in a criminal enterprise and drug trafficking. Guzman's attorney had tried to argue that strict pretrial detention conditions prevented Guzman from a fair trial and effective assistance of counsel. But the federal judge ruled those claims had no merit. Guzman has been sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. He's expected to serve his time at the nation's most secure prison in Florence, Colorado. Guzman was also ordered to pay $12.6 billion in forfeiture. Tense testimony for witnesses is underway at the federal civil rights trial of 3 former Minneapolis police officers. They're accused of failing to intervene as fellow officer Derek Chauvin killed George Floyd. The 3 men were at the scene on May 25th, 2020, as Chauvin pinned Floyd's neck to the ground with his knee. Floyd face down in handcuffs, grasping for air, but for about 9 minutes. Prosecutors and defense attorneys spent most of the day delivering opening statements. Chauvin was convicted of murder last year and pled guilty to a federal count of violating Floyd's civil rights.
And the FBI and 3 attorney generals are investigating a COVID-19 testing company accused of scamming patients. The Center for COVID Control says its thousands of U.S. locations are now closed. That includes this one in St. Louis. The FBI raided the business's Chicago area headquarters over the weekend. Attorneys generals in Colorado, Illinois, and Oregon are investigating the company. The Better Business Bureau says its patients often received no results or ones with errors.
Outside with live cam, watch this. Sunshine.
And clouds.
Yeah, but there's sunshine.
And clouds.
But it's sunshine.
But Justin said
you guys are both right.
The clouds make it tricky today.
Yeah, they do. I mean, we literally right on the line where these clouds really start to thicken up. And as you go west to San Antonio, there's full sun. So it's going to be a little bit of a tricky forecast when it comes to those temperatures. Let's look at the satellite picture right now. And you can see those clouds are kind of hugging San Antonio here. If you're on the far east side of Bexar County, you are seeing quite a bit more cloud cover. If you're on the west side of Bexar County, it is still full sun. New Braunfels, you're underneath the clouds. It's been overcast there and temperatures are a little cooler. 55 here in San Antonio, 54 Gonzales, 51 Kennedy, 58 Kerrville, 53 down there in Cotulla, but 60s, even upper 60s as you get out towards Del Rio, where the sun has been out most of the day. There's the scene again here at the airport, and temperatures 55, dew point at 45, and we do have a northeasterly breeze at about 10 miles per hour. It's been a little breezy from time to time today. As we look down the line, temperature's going to be on the cool side. The average temperature is 64, so we're not too far away from that really all this week, even into next week. Nothing too cold there, but cool. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, highs in the 50s. As far as today is concerned, we'll go 60 by 4 p.m., 56 by 6 p.m., and by 8 p.m., 53 degrees northeasterly winds, 5 to 10 miles per hour. Guys.
Justin, and I'm getting flashbacks to high school with this next story. The SAT is moving from paper and pencil to digital. Administrators of the test say the shift will boost the test relevancy in an increasingly test-optional college admissions landscape. Test takers will be able to use their own laptops, but they will still have to take the test at a monitored site or in school. The format change is scheduled to roll out internationally next year and in the U.S. in 2024. More colleges are letting students decide whether to include test scores in their college applications.
No more number 2 pencils colored into little circles?
Well, no.
Just not?
No.
If you get paid for goods and services on Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, you might be affected by a new tax rule. Payment app providers must now issue users a 1099-K form if they make more than $600 through business transactions during the year. Before, the form was only issued if a user had more than 200 business transactions in a year, totaling at least $20,000. This applies to any payment for a good or service, including tips, reimbursing a friend or dinner, or receiving money for a group gift does not count. The rule is meant to make it harder for people to evade paying taxes owed. Forms won't be going out until early 2023, since the change starts this tax year. People making money through Airbnb and Etsy are also impacted by this new rule.
Grandmas know best. A quick-thinking grandmother tricked a suspected scam artist, how she was able to help police catch him red-handed.
And the housing market is hot right now, meaning home prices are up. But it's not all bad news for potential buyers. The trends to look out for coming up.
And a Florida resident says she was tricked into visiting a North Carolina town after seeing a viral video online. How she reacted after she didn't find the snowy, picture-perfect scene she expected.
A TikTok video featuring majestic mountains and a stunning landscape has people watching on repeat, with over 5 million views, and even encouraging some people to visit Gastonia,
have you even heard of it?
North Carolina.
All right. Well, the problem is, other than you not knowing how to pronounce it, wasn't the shot in the southern town. It was filmed in Switzerland.
Come on.
But a woman on a trip in North Carolina found that out the very hard way. Olivia Garcia and her family were in the Carolinas to check out the recent snow, and when she saw this viral video, she convinced her family to make a stop.
And then all of a sudden we get there and just run down gas stations. Like, we had to go to the bathroom. There was no bathroom that worked in any of the gas stations.
I made us drive an hour out of the way, BC, of this TikTok.
So no wonder I couldn't pronounce it. Wasn't even in North Carolina. Chronicling her reaction, Garcia's video in actual Gastonia has thousands of views. One of those views is from the mayor of Gastonia, who invited Garcia to come back for a personal trip.
I mean, she wasn't wrong. She said a rundown gas station.
Yeah.
It's called Gastonia. So.
Oh, got it.
All right, this one I'm excited for. A New York grandmother avoided being scammed by turning the tables on the would-be crook and scamming him instead. I wish I had this courage.
The 73-year-old Jean Ebert received a call from a man posing as her grandson, saying he had been in a car accident and needed $8,000. However, she doesn't have a grandson old enough to drive, so she knew something wasn't right. She says the person on the phone asked her to send the cash through Venmo, so she told him she didn't have the app and instead told him to come by her house. Then she called police, who came to her home and waited for the suspect to arrive. A doorbell camera recorded the man walking up to her front door. She opens it, hands him an envelope stuffed with paper towels, which she thinks is cash. And as he walks away, you see there, police got him.
Maybe they'll realize that they can be scammed too, because I played the game really well right from the beginning. They believed me hook, line, and sinker.
She did play it really well. 28-year-old Joshua Gomez is charged with third-degree attempted grand larceny. Police advise against ever trying to confront a suspect. It can be very dangerous. Police say if you get a questionable call, be careful about what information you share and protect the information you put online, because it's incredibly easy to be targeted on the internet.
First-time homebuyers are hoping they'll have better luck in 2022 after record low inventory and soaring demand left many outbid and sidelined last year.
The real estate market is still red hot, and new data out this month shows that will likely continue. CNN's Jen Sullivan has a closer look at the 3 trends experts are predicting for this year.
When it comes to the real estate market, realtors say 2022 is shaping up to be another competitive year.
When the springtime comes, everyone is going to be looking to buy a home.
The median home price is nearly $350,000, up almost 17% from 2020, according to the National Association of Realtors. And the 30-year fixed rate loan is at 3.56%, back up to pre-pandemic levels. So, does this mean the American dream of owning a home is even more out of reach this year?
Definitely a stressful and a fun time. I think kind of all bundled up into one. I mean, it's a big life decision.
Here are 3 trends buyers can expect this year. Number 1, home prices will go up. The good news is they won't climb as fast as last year. Number 2, mortgage rates will also rise. In just the last month, we've seen mortgage rates jump half a point. Rates are rising because the Federal Reserve has said it plans to raise interest rates.
I have a couple folks who were considering purchasing 6 months ago or 9 months ago who maybe are kicking themselves a little bit now since they didn't capitalize on the even lower interest rates.
And 3, inventory will grow. Experts project more homes could become available, but the number of buyers will also grow, and that means homes will continue to sell very fast.
I think when there's such limited supply and so many people that want to buy a house, even if interest rates go up, it's not going to affect home affordability.
For today's Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
And the housing market also tough for buyers right here in San Antonio area. Last month, more than 3,500 homes sold. That's down just a bit from 1 year ago. Sales are beating pre-pandemic numbers, though, and so are prices. However, local realtors say there are several things you can try to get that dream home. We have those tips on getting your dream home on KSAT.com.
56 degrees. I mean, you see the sun, but I see clouds.
They're inching.
My glass must be half full then, because I'm seeing the sunshine.
I like clouds. I like a cloudy day.
It's really half and half right now. The clouds are trying to get a little bit closer here, but at the airport, still seeing some sun. 55 degrees. The low this morning, 45. Averages are 64 and 42. Records are 87 and 16, set back in 1971, and way back in 1894. We'll take a look ahead. We'll see how long these clouds stick around, and we'll look into the weekend, too, coming up in just a bit.
David's struggling with math.
All right, so there's some clouds and there's some sun. I guess we agree on that.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's established.
Hey, yes. At least there's some sun, though.
There is, compared to yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday was no fun. Yes, the sun is out for now anyway. And we've got some more good news. Mountain cedar is down. It's been down for a couple days now. It's looking pretty good here. Now, I can't tell you unequivocally that the season is over, but maybe we're starting to wind things down. Take a look at the graph. We had our big numbers right at the end of last year and early this year. We had another big one when a cold front came through several days ago, but last few days have been really low. The latest count is at 30. I think it's looking pretty good. We always say the end of the season is Valentine's Day. It's kind of like the unofficial end. I think we're getting there. No, mountain cedar season can be tough for a lot of us, so it's good to see that. Hey, this morning the fog was really pretty thick, even here around San Antonio. As we put on the time lapse, we go forward in time. Sun popped out pretty early, around 9 o'clock or so, and it's been out ever since. 55 degrees at the airport. Northeasterly winds at about 10 miles per hour. But as we've been saying most of the morning, those clouds are just sitting right to the east of San Antonio, and they're trying to move in. You look at the latest airport picture there on live cam, and it looks like clouds are inching just a little bit closer. Up in New Braunfels, it has been cloudy most of the morning. Gonzales, cloudy with some fog earlier, 54, 55 Kennedy, 61 in Victoria. Right now it is 51 in New Braunfels, so you can see the difference. You go out towards Hondo, it's in the mid-60s, 66 in Uvalde, 67 in Del Rio. So these clouds really are making all the difference in the world. And tomorrow, they'll still be around to make the forecast a little tricky. This is 4 o'clock today. We're thinking temperatures here in San Antonio get up to about 60. It stays fairly cool in places like New Braunfels and Gonzales. You go west, you will get up close to 70 in New Braunfels, Del Rio, if you're not already above that mark. I think we'll see some pretty warm numbers out west. Now tonight, the clouds shift back in. I think we'll see a little bit of moisture, so some fog, maybe some drizzle tomorrow. Could be a little bit damp for the morning commute. We're in the mid-40s. And tomorrow the clouds shift west. So in this case, we'll see some of the cooler temperatures potentially out west, and maybe some slightly warmer numbers off to the east where the sun is out. And once again, San Antonio will be right on that dividing line, so it'll make the temperature forecast a little tough tomorrow too. Dew points, well, they've been awful low. We get a front through today. It's a weak front coming through, but it's enough to knock the dew points down a little bit. We get another one early on Friday, and that keeps dew points really pretty low. Now, they will try to jump back up late in the weekend and early next week, hopefully leading to a chance for some rain. As we look at the big picture here, we've got the clouds across Texas, but nothing precipitation-wise, at least right now. That does change a little bit as we get into tomorrow and later in the week. Some heavy rain just to the west of Florida. Some of that will be moving in. This is that last system that brought us some rain yesterday. That'll be moving into Florida. And then we've got our next system kind of back out here over the Four Corners that will swing through. So here's how it looks. This starts to bring some snow to parts of the Texas Panhandle tomorrow, maybe some showers out west. Not a lot for us. Again, maybe a little bit of drizzle tomorrow morning. This will still bring some snow tomorrow afternoon up across parts of Oklahoma. Our next rain chance kicks in late Thursday and early Friday. We should see some showers develop early, basically overnight pre-dawn on Friday. They don't last very long, probably won't add up to much. Then eventually we get some clearing Friday afternoon. Extended forecast, we go 54 Wednesday, 55 on Thursday, and cloudy. There's that 30% chance rain Thursday night into Friday. A lot of sun this weekend, a good looking forecast. 63 Saturday, 65 on Sunday. And the latest models continue to want to put some rain in on Monday. We'll keep our fingers crossed for that. Right now, just a 20% chance of rain. We'll be right back.
An extraterrestrial is stuck on Earth in the sci-fi series Resident Alien.
And this week, it's back for season 2. CNN's Rick Damigella has a look.
Are you experiencing any issues with memory loss? Do you remember anything? Do you know who you are?
I'm an alien. Alan Tudyk is back as an intergalactic invader in the new season of Resident Alien. I'm afraid I'm becoming too human.
You saved my life like you're my dad.
If you slept on the first season, there's a reason why the alien is on Earth.
Harry is on planet Earth because the humans are destroying it. Well, it's not being taken care of. I think that's all he said. It's not being taken care of and it's in danger. His people on his planet need to destroy the human race so that it can be taken care of. He definitely decides to abandon his mission because he has found a connection with a human.
She's a human idiot.
Did that octopus just call me an idiot?
It's so exciting that we got a season 2 because it's not over. And now it's about Harry, the alien, not only sticking around, but learning an even deeper meaning of humanity.
I think I know where you're going with this, and I am not liking it.
Maybe it was a U.
No.
F.
Please, don't, please.
Oh.
Damn it, you're supposed to be an officer of the law.
This is the best job I've had in my entire career.
I started singing and dancing at a theme park at 16, and I'm 47 now, and this is the best job I've ever had.
What's going on, Harry? I'm building a bunker to save Asta from a total extinction event, and I'm going to lock you out and then sweep up your ashes with a dustpan.
In Hollywood, I'm Rick Damigella.
I think an alien erased our memory.
So here's my question. If aliens came to Earth, what would they think of SA Live when they watched it?
I would love it. They would love it.
Look at there.
I tell you, it is a fast-paced Olympic sport that you can play right here in the Alamo City, and this is probably the closest to Olympic glory we'll ever come, Mike.
Yes, Coach Vlad Farkas and Paralympic medalist Jason Van Emberg won the bronze medal in Tokyo are here. And Vlad, you said that this is a workout and a half, right?
Yeah, it's truly a workout. I have students that run 5-6 miles every day, and they tell me that after 20 minutes of practicing at my pace, they are getting tired, they want a break, they ask for a water break.
I'm with you just looking at this. So.
All right. So speaking of sports, okay, what is your kind of recreational sport? Let us know at SA Live KSAT on Facebook and Twitter.
And I'm getting dizzy watching it as well. Okay, Vaquero Cookoff is coming up a week from Saturday, same day as the cattle drive and parade. And oh, look at that dish. This is Chef's Choice. We're going to talk about a great shrimp dish.
And she's a Southern belle with a passion for cooking and making everyone's favorite dish from scratch. We are going to taste some of Gnome's Catering.
Yes, making a pasta bar and some lamb chops, shrimp, and lobster tail in there as well. And,
oh, yes.
You know, you like getting together with the neighbors, you know, kind of like a block party.
Yeah.
Well, there is a little place right over there, Broadway and Josephine, and Pink Hill is the center of it. A lot of little shops, little bars, little restaurants, and some great cocktails, too.
All right, all that and more when SA Live continues in just a few minutes.